And we are back with another thrilling edition of the Doin Alright Draft Edition. Draft Edition. Podcast here at the Crown Global Media Studios on this Thursday. We still working out all the details, ladies and gentlemen. Scheduling wise, we know for sure Monday, Wednesday, and Friday we're gonna come in here and profile players for you.
Yeah.
We're gonna still figure out Q&As at some point.
Guests.
That's exactly where I was going, Bryan.
Yes, yeah.
At some point, we want to bring some of our friends in here, maybe put them up on the board, and let them kind of come in and chat with us about some, just some of these, players and prospects and things like that. So that's coming. Mm-hmm. That's either going to be a Tuesday or a Thursday. We're going to work it all out, and we still going to balance Cowboy news as well. But right now, what we did today, I put out the bat signal. I said, "Do y'all have questions?" A lot of y'all questions involve players, so you're going to get a cool little breakdown today of a handful of players and just some general Q&A. Bryan, you all right today?
I'm doing great, sir. Thank you very much. By the way, real quick, we're an hour and a half yesterday of Cowboy post-season talk. Mm-hmm. You draw anything from that, or have you just kind of moved on in your mind?
Man, I don't be listening to Jerry, man. I don't be listening to Jerry and what they talking about. I mean, I'm interested in what they say when something happens.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear their rally cry for the fan base that it's going to be okay.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
When things happen, it happens. I think them prioritizing the running back, the first thing that they mentioned was bringing him back was interesting. Right. I think them mentioning they mentioned the running back and Clowney more than they mentioned Pickens.
Yeah,
which is interesting.
Probably going to tag that one, huh?
Probably.
Yeah.
So I think in Cowboy land, that's something to look out for. And honestly, that's Stephen Jones and how he gets down. I think he feels like Williams and Clowney will be a much cheaper, accessible deal than Pickens, which is going to be a great deal of money. We'll see how it all plays out.
Let me ask you this question real quick too before we get into these our questions here.
Please.
Do you feel like that Jerry drug Shoddy into the hire of Eberflus?
Hell yeah! Look. This is the funny part about it.
It's like you guys want to say I was the one involved with the hiring here, but clearly we've talked about this a bunch. The consensus. It's always a consensus with the Cowboys. We have to have a consensus whether we're going to have the catfish platter or the steak sandwich today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We have to have a consensus with that. I felt like that he's been kind of hearing us talk about him and Steven and Will and kind of taking that like, okay, the responsibility for the Eberflus hire was Jerry, Steven, Will, and anybody else who got a voice in there, who was a lot.
Yeah.
They drug Shoddy in on that one too, didn't they?
He dragged his ass right in that water, Bryan Broaddus. I mean, and look, we all knew that was a Jerry call, and Clarence asked it that way. Hey, look, Flus was your call. Is this going to be more of a Shoddy call? And Jerry was like,
yeah, wait a minute now.
Shoddy hired Flus.
Yeah.
This was all those Shoddy. You know what I'm saying? Not that it's a bad thing Jerry came back and said, but I think it was weird. It was weird. I think it was a way to kind of take accountability off of Jerry and them. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is.
Well, Jerry and them though they are the ones that were involved. They were clearly involved, but to make it a point, Jerry was like, "Listen, hey, there's decisions that are made around here with the head coach involved." Yeah, and a lot of times I saw it with my own eyes.
And honestly, just kind of thinking about it in that way, right? Like maybe this is their way of saying, hey, we're quickly dealing with the issues that, like, we all made this Flus issue together.
Yeah.
It's all good. We're going to quickly fix it with how we're approaching that.
I see what you're doing. Yeah. All right.
Think about Jerry, man. Like when news starts happening, then we can get into it, though. Interesting you said that, Bryan Broaddus. Trey Davis from Twitter.
Yeah.
Said this. He said Stephen Jones said yesterday that linebacker and he mentioned secondary and linebacker help, right? He mentioned those, first. Why didn't he say anything about edge rusher? How do you see the Cowboys stacking the top linebackers, corners, and safeties in the draft? All right, so I think you could go anywhere on defense except tackle and be fine. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel.
Yeah,
Stephen did say linebacker and corner.
Right.
I think that means something. Or linebacker and secondary help.
Yeah.
So I guess you can put downs in that conversation too. Do you think this is a situation where they walk into it going that corner and linebacker is such an emergency and maybe they'll find a way to generate pass rush with their new coordinator that's going to be more of a blitz type guy, or we're going to lean into our interior guys because Quinnen is a high pressure guy. Kenny Clark led you in pressures. Osa was like 12th in the whole league in pressures, and maybe in their mind we're going to be like an interior pressure team. Do you think that the Cowboys potentially, just humor me because this will never happen, but they'll, like when they go into round one, they're not looking at edge at all because maybe they think that they can find pass rush somewhere else?
He's bluffing you.
You think so?
He's bluffing you. He's taking you off the trail of really what they need. I don't know how you cannot watch the Dallas Cowboys and not think that they need edge pressure. You know, I mean, you're absolutely right about the tackles. I think Stephen Jones is trying to actively take you off the path of they're looking at edges. He doesn't want it to be out there that they're looking for edges. He's in that mode right now of like Stephen Jones is going to go into that. I'm gonna answer your question, but I'm not going to answer your question. I think he's completely bluffing. If edge rusher is not their number one need, then what games is he watching? Yeah. He's bad at linebacker. He's been bad. They were bad at corner this year. They were bad at safety. Yeah. That part of it's not a lie, but he's in a situation right now. He knows that he has to draft an edge rusher, and I think he's just trying to take you down a different path.
I don't quite disagree with you, but let me just ask you this. Humor me.
You can disagree with me if you want, but you're not right.
Because I do think edge is like super priority. It should be. But but do you really think the edge is the most important position? Think about this, because we got news yesterday, and Jerry made a weird comment about Bland's foot. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? He's like, "Hey man, I ain't no doctor, but that don't sound good." You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, hell no.
So now you're down Diggs. You have a weird feeling about Bland now. Revel is coming back after this situation. He's not a guaranteed, right?
Right. He'll be healthier than he was for the last 10 weeks.
What do you say to the people that think corner is a bigger emergency?
I think corner is a big need. Yeah. If you want me to prioritize what the situation is, I think a pass rush would have helped the corners.
Yeah, for sure.
Seriously, I mean, look at how many times when we saw Green Bay early in the year, and then you're watching Micah Parsons play, and you're watching Gary play, and you're watching you're watching all these guys play. We didn't think we felt like the front seven of the Packers was going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
We weren't sitting there and jumping up and down about their corners or anything like that. We weren't sitting there going, "Oh, well, hey, this Packer cornerback boy, I'll tell you what, Jari Alexander," and I mean, remember all those guys they've had and stuff? They didn't have any of those players.
Yeah.
I don't know how, I just say this, I don't know how you cannot look at the Cowboys and say your inability to create pressure caused problems for your corners, and it caused problems to generate turnovers. They could, the inside pressure with the tackles and stuff, great. Donovan Ezeraku, I set the bar too high for Donovan Ezeraku.
Probably so.
I did.
We all did.
I watched him at training camp. I guess I was watching him against offensive tackles that couldn't block him, because those same offensive tackles had struggles during the year. So I should have known better than that. Yeah. But yeah, if you start to prioritize where this team needs help defensively, corners there, but that edge is, you give me somebody that, and I keep saying the word bendy, it's our new buzzword. Sure. Everybody's picking up on our bendy thing.
Because you don't need a big run-stoppy guy.
You don't.
You need somebody that gets the quarterback.
Yeah, you need somebody that legitimately can affect the game like Micah Parsons used to do for you. Yeah. That's what you need. And so to me, I if they were to draft a corner at 12 and an edge at 20, whatever that pick's going to be,
I live with that.
I could live with that. Or you want to flip it, whatever your highest graded guy is, say defense. Because if they don't do anything in free agency, and I asked you this question, if they don't do anything in free agency, you're kind of thinking like, I might have to trade one of those picks back.
What if your best haul ends up being Caleb Downs and Caleb Downs, safety from Ohio State, and Brandon Cece, the cornerback from South Carolina at 20-something? What if that's your best haul and you don't get a chance to get pass rush?
See, now we're in a little.
That's a good haul though.
That's a great haul.
Yeah,
that's a great haul. That's a first-round player and a second-round player on my board.
Yeah.
But I
got a one on CC.
Yeah.
I got a one on CC.
He's a good player.
We'll talk about it later.
Oh no, no, he's a good player. I might be totally wrong about him, but I love the player.
I got a very particular reason why I think he's a first round.
Oh, okay, I'm looking forward to hearing that. But yeah, I feel like though, if they don't grab an end, it now it turns into maybe you have to get Clowney done. Maybe you have to get maybe you have to get the Sam Williams come back cheap.
Hendrickson or something.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to find something, to do.
All right. We'll keep on talking about it, Bryan Broaddus. How about this, Bryan? Let's we talked about edges. The more I'm watching film,
you, man. He's bluffing you.
I hope so.
Yeah.
The more I'm watching film, Bryan, the more I kind of find edges that'll probably be in the back of the first round for us.
Yeah.
That'll be available. We talk about edges at that 12th overall pick. We're talking about hoping that Bain gets there. I don't think Bailey gets there. Reese is an interesting, he's an interesting conversation. So I don't know, but I don't rule anything out. But there's a couple guys I've been watching that may be there at the back of the first. Jacob Mills says this, and we'll use this opportunity to talk about both these guys. What are your thoughts on Romello Height, pass rusher from Texas Tech, and R. Mason Thomas, the pass rusher from Oklahoma, with the Green Bay pick? And I think both those guys will be in that range where if you draft in at 20, hopefully Green Bay take care of business for us. You'll be looking at one of those guys. Do you want to talk about either one of those guys first, and I'll take the other?
Yeah, I will talk about this. I will say this though too. I watched Messador from Miami, and I know we'll get into him.
We're gonna watch him next week for sure. Yep.
Yeah, and I've got him ahead of Howell, and I know we've done a lot of talk already about Howell.
Yeah.
So Messador, Howell. Now we talk about Height from Texas Tech, who the question was about, and then Mason Thomas from Oklahoma. These are some fine players when you start to talk about them overall, though. And I will get into.
Take one. I'll take.
Yeah. Which one would you like? I'll take either one. I'll take the opposite.
I'll take Height.
Go for it.
All right, cool. So looking at Romello Height, you really can't miss him because he has a fantastic pass rush brother over there in Bailey.
Yeah.
Kind of made me a little mad too, man. You watch that Texas Tech film, they got that big pole in the film.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes Height be on the other side of it. I'm like, hey man, what y'all doing,
dog? Around, what are we doing out there? Yeah.
What y'all doing? But Bryan, the more you watch Romello Height, man.
Yeah.
Oh my God. He's another one of those upfield, explode, long arms, good length. Now whenever the actual length numbers, come out, me and Bryan will come back and just elaborate on it. But his motor is ridiculous, Bryan.
Yeah.
He's a relentless rusher. I think it's important to say that, Bryan. Everybody's not a relentless rusher.
Right.
Some people kind of play with the hands and then go work a little bit, or they'll delay a rush. He's a relentless rusher. His closing speed to the quarterback is stupid. He got this inside spin move that he's working on, Bryan.
Yeah.
And you just see him working on different moves just to see, can he improve it? Can he set this up different? And that makes me feel like, well, he's rushing with this pass rush plan. He has a counter just in case you kind of, you know what I'm saying, deal with that or whatever. He's decent versus the run. I don't think he's bad versus the run, but he's not a guy that you got to take off the field. I love how he changes up the tempos of the rush, right?
There you go.
He changes up the damn tempos of the rush. Like it looks like he's going full speed already, but then he relentlessly does this thing over the edge, Bryan. This is the one thing that really sold me on him. And he may end up being like a first round grade on somebody's board.
Sure.
I love to see what you look like versus other NFL talent. You see what I'm saying?
You watched him against Utah, didn't you?
So Texas Tech ain't got a whole bunch of talent that they going against, right?
Yeah.
But there's this one matchup. Go watch Utah.
Yeah, there you go.
And that'll be a good time to watch Bailey versus Fanu or whatever, right? Yeah. Bryan Broaddus, he beat the shit out of our guy Caleb Lomu, the left tackle.
The left tackle Lomu, yeah.
He beat the piss out of Lomu. He had Lomu leaning all over the place,
scrambling
over his skis, falling down, lunging, not trusting his feet. And Lomu is a guy with great feet.
Yeah.
Lomu's a good athlete with great feet.
Yeah.
And Melo had him not trusting that. Somebody gonna ask us one day, well, Voch, how do you grade some of these matchups with better guys, with better dudes? I'll tell you a story. One thing that kind of taught me this, Bryan. Going back watching Chase Young. Chase Young go out there and beat everybody's ass, whoop the hell out of everybody.
Ohio State back in the day, yeah.
Rashawn Slater played for Northwestern.
Northwestern, sure
and
did.
hadn't played a bunch of good talent all year. He beat the hell out of them, but not a bunch of good talent all year. Rashawn Slater put hands on Chase Young.
Yeah.
And that made me go, all right, matchups versus dudes should weigh a little bit. It should mean something to me.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So watching Romello Height versus another player, he might be drafted in the first or second round or something. I don't know. I got a third on low moon on my board. But somebody may like him in the first or the second round versus good competition. Height put hands on him, and that means something to me. I like him a lot, Brian.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
I got a 2-1, by the way.
No, I'll tell you what. I think you, once again, you've nailed him. What I'd like to say, though, is I feel like that he's a guy that I watched him against Houston, too, and you're right about the Utah matchup, but I watched him against Houston as well, that kind of an old Southwest Conference rival, now a Big 12 rival, and his ability to walk the blocker back, the tackle. There was a couple of different times where they passed it on him, and he's not, as you mentioned, he's got that kind of effort and motor where he's not going to stay on blocks long. He's always working to get off blocks. But this one time he put his head down 240 pounds and just walked that tackle back into the quarterback there. So I was super impressed by that. I think he does a really good job of keeping those blockers' hands off him. And so, he's a guy that when now teams are going to look at this, Voch, and you know this is going to happen.
Yeah.
Teams are going to look at this. They're going to say he's a little bit of an older guy. He's going to be 25 years old. Okay? He's been to 4 schools. He's been to Auburn, USC, Georgia Tech, and now Texas Tech. We got used to the older player a little bit because of COVID.
Sure.
If you remember, those COVID players were all getting 6 years, and then they were, but they're a little bit older. I would still draft this guy just because of everything you talked about him, the explosiveness, the effort, the relentless play, the way that he's able to get after the quarterback. This guy is he's a guy you absolutely should consider if you get down. If Green Bay's pick is a little bit later, he's a guy that'll absolutely be considered there in the first round.
Plus, Brian, like the older guys or whatever, they're a lot more developed and mature.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't mind the older player.
Right.
You know, if I'm drafting, I'm really looking for the help now. I don't want to have a 10-year conversation about you. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know what it's going to look like in 8. I thought Michael was going to be here forever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't know what year 8 of Romello Height is going to look like in Dallas or whatever. Tell me about these next 4 years.
Yeah.
And in 4 years, he'd be 28 or 29 or whatever. You know what I mean? So I ain't worried about it. I would draft him with my 20th pick or 20 whatever. Pick.
Sure.
Brian, why don't you tell us about R. Mason Thomas, the edge rusher from Oklahoma?
Yeah, this is an interesting cat, and I say that in all respect because of the first step quickness, the ability to cover ground the way he does, the way he attacks the blocker. You could watch him against some really good offensive tackles in the Southeastern Conference. You could watch him playing in the Michigan game. You know, Michigan's got some offensive linemen there as well, but this guy can really accelerate. You talk about a guy that when he gets in space, he wears number 32, and you could see him flying across the field. I mean, he is going to, when you watch him play, the redirection, he gets not too far up the field, and then he could come back in a hurry to get on the quarterback. If he gets stopped, he keeps working on ways to free himself. We were kind of talking about the same thing with Height when Texas Tech. I think he's got really good deceptive play strength for the position. He's 6'2", he's 249. He might not fit everybody's eye the way he looks, but man, you could see him. He can anchor down when he's asked to. He could squeeze those running lanes despite the smaller frame. I was super impressed with how low he can play with his pads. He could gain leverage. He does a really good job of going this. We always talk about the speed, the power. We always talk about this. Scouts probably won't like the frame of the shorter arms, but man, you cannot discount the way this guy rushes the passer. He's got quick twitch. He's explosive. He does have a little bit of an injury history with some ankle problems that teams will probably have to look at, and so that's something that's really the only thing that I could see. The lack of maybe bulk and size, the injury history, but everything about this player screams a guy that can get off the quarterback and does it against really good competition.
Brian, I was watching him. And it just put a smile on my face because we got rushers in this class, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, we got some rushers in this class. All I need the Cowboys to do is to do the right thing when it comes to Keldrick Faulk and T.J. Parker. Just do the right thing.
Put them where they belong.
If they got thirds on them, take it. If they got late seconds, if those dudes are 1-2-9s, we survive another day, Brian. We survive another day if both those dudes are ones because we ain't got no picks in the second.
Right,
Brian. I was impressed with our guy, our Mason Thomas. So, like, what's his name? Like Rashad Mason Thomas, Richie Mason Thomas.
I don't know what the R stands for. I need to look that one up.
Anyway, our Mason Thomas, but you got him, Brian. Explosive, bendy, twitchy.
Yeah,
I don't think he had a lot of sacks this year. But I can watch you win pass rush reps.
Yeah,
and I could tell that. All right, you probably had some more sacks coming.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You just didn't all the way get them. Gets to the back hip in a hurry. Cool hands, swipes, rips, and clubs and all that. Very aggressive and feisty with his hands, Brian. Cool versus the run. Not crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he's had some decent days versus the run. You'd be surprised how often his bull rush works.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he's so crazy running.
Well, no, he could play because of the size of the leverage, being a little bit of a shorter guy, getting up underneath blockers the way he does.
But that damn bull rush work, Brian, you basically knocked it out the park with the evaluation.
Yeah.
But just if I can add two more things, there are some Texas fans that want to make us watch players from the damn draft that ain't even in this damn draft.
Oh,
but the Gooseby kid,
I had somebody on Twitter ask me about watching him against Howell from Texas A&M, and said, "You'll think differently about Howell if you."
Bro, we got 250 players to watch Darwin.
I was funny though, but I went back and I watched the guy, and I think there was there was several of the big plays in the Texas offense that they had. It wasn't a matchup between Howell and Gooseby. So, I was kind of like going, okay, I do my due diligence.
We need to follow our own plan and quit listening to these damn people.
No, I appreciate the reaching out, though.
It's all good, though. But the one thing that really stood out to me about Thomas is that he had a good day versus this Gooseby kid who's the boogeyman, and Duke Manyweather loves him.
Oh, yeah.
Duke said he'd be the number one tackle in this class if he came out. Cool. Our Mason had a cool little day and a sack against him, I believe.
Yeah.
And Caden Proctor, a tackle from Alabama. That I like a bunch.
Yeah.
So now we're constantly adding to this what do you do versus good talent.
Right.
Our Mason is doing good things versus good talent. So, Brian, basically what that means to me is if the Cowboys decide to go with DB in the first round, there's some dudes in the 20s that I feel really good about.
Yeah, you should feel comfortable to know that if this thing gets down into it, and there might be some guys that get pushed because of there might be some medical questions, there might be some of the lack of bulk questions, short arm questions, scouts. You like to say this, people suck at drafting. Yeah.
Brian, people been talking about this Texas Tech linebacker for a long time, and I want you to talk about him.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because you came to me a week ago.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens with this fanfare sometimes. You know what I mean? It'd be day one of the draft. They'd be like, Voch, have you seen this third round linebacker or the second round linebacker?
Learning on the draft show, huh?
We'll do it. But thinking of a master plan.
Fifth round safeties come up yet?
It's coming. Is Rodriguez,
Jacob Rodriguez,
the linebacker from Texas Tech, is he worth a top 20 pick, Bryan Broaddus?
You know what? I don't think so.
I agree. He's not. No,
I don't think so. But he is a fascinating player in some ways. 6'1", 235. Here's another guy that doesn't probably fit everybody's eye. The guy is a productive football player. He has got the instinct. Now, we talked about who was our guy, Swessinger?
Carson Swessinger
from UCLA, that 227 pounds.
Carson's different though.
You think Carson's different?
Carson's a savage.
Yeah, Carson's a savage.
Ain't no savage.
Okay, but no, I think this guy. He transferred from Virginia. This is one of the most decorated players in Big 12 this year. When you start to talk about everything that he's done, I think that he's got Defensive Player of the Year. He's the Butkus, Lombardi. He's won all these awards. And he's won the Voch Lombardi award. I do think he's got some instincts. I think he's able to key and diagnose very quickly. I think he has a feel for what is about to happen to him. I do see him kind of sift through some trash and make some plays on the move. I think that if he did not have that ability, I think there would be some problems because of his lack of some size to him. But, man, he could play a step ahead. I think there's some lateral movement. I think he's a really good tackler. I think you could see him get his man on the ground. He's a master at creating turnovers. He's one of these punch at the ball, rip at the ball without sacrificing the tackle. He's forced a number of fumbles since arriving out there in Lubbock. I don't see a tight moving player. Movement skills are there. I one time saw him drop, drop, and turn. Sometimes you get these guys, these spot drop linebackers. This guy tries to stay active in that way. If you talk to scouts about him, they'll say this. They say he won't check all the boxes size-wise, but the nose for the football and his communication skills are a real plus. He does have a wrestling background.
Sure.
So there's two things in my scouting life that I learned. If a guy is from Belglade, Florida, and he has a wrestling background, I probably need to take a look believe in him. But yeah, this guy, I think the instincts will help him in the league. I just do worry about the size with him a little bit, playing at the linebacker spot. But he's impressive to watch. Like you say, he's number 10, and he shows up quite a bit in the games that you do study.
I worry about his athleticism on the next level too, Brian.
Yeah.
I think if you're just fast enough in college, I assume you're going to be slow on the next level.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There are some moments where you're like thinking, is he going to get there,
Because look, the game speeds up.
Yeah.
And that's something that we have to think about when we're evaluating players. So think about a player like Sonny Styles who can run.
Right.
It's only going to get faster for him.
Right.
And he's going to get to the league and have a learning curve, and they're going to catch him slipping sometimes, right?
Right.
So, man, we're going to have to watch him run in his pro day. We're going to have to see what his 40 look like. But I think when he gets to the league, I think he's a guy that you could take advantage of in the passing game, coverage-wise and stuff. I think pass catching running backs are only going to get better. And I think these offensive linemen that get to the next level, I think they're only going to get more athletic and much more powerful. You know what I'm saying? It's interesting. He could deal with blocks when he's prepared for it.
That's what I'm saying. I think the instincts part of it, that's what the thing that kind of carries him a little bit.
I think when he see the block, I think he can wrestle the block.
Yeah.
But there's times when he may see the block a little late, and they'll punish him for it a little bit.
They will punish him,
You know what I'm saying? And that could be the size thing. I don't know. I think teams are going to look at the size and all that. And there are some other linebackers that do similar to what he does.
Yeah.
But they're just simply bigger. To be fair, I think I love a good diagnosing running back.
Yeah.
I mean,
linebacker, yeah.
Linebacker. I love a good diagnosing linebacker, man.
Right.
I don't think it's going to be enough, man. I need some athleticism too.
Yeah.
I need some athleticism.
I'm going to admit I put him in the third round.
I got him in the third as well.
Yeah.
Third as well for me. Third as well for me. I mean, look, cool player though. He could be good in the league. Just in terms of the order in which I would draft him.
There might be the lack of speed might be a problem here.
Yeah. Let's see, Brian. Well, they showed through a bunch of names at us. Let's see. Let's do two more.
Okay.
Is there an offensive player in this draft that'll remake the CeeDee Lamb situation for you in the draft? We go into this thing looking for a defender. Chason seemed to make sense from a need standpoint, but this offensive player is so ridiculous we can't pass him up. So let's say in the 20s, because I think at 12 you'll have a lot of options for defensive players that you'll love that can help you right now. When you get to 20, Brian, and there's probably some defenders there, but there's a ridiculous offensive name there. It could be an offensive lineman, could be a receiver, it could be one of them tight ends. What you think, Brian?
I would love to think that I can maybe get. You're saying in the 20s.
Carnell Tate falls to 21.
That's
or 20 or 21.
Yeah, I think Tate is a guy I would think about. Do you think Lemon, who we've talked about from USC, do you feel like he's going to go earlier than say the 20s because we really, really like him?
I think if anything Tate goes early, I think Mekhi Lemon is primed to go late because teams ain't good at this.
Okay, well, to me, Lemon, and I know we talked about Lemon, but let me give you another guy though.
Please.
I think this when you look at if you want another wide receiver, and I would love the running back from.
Oh yeah, from Notre Dame.
From Notre Dame.
Sure.
And do you feel like that maybe he might fit into that? Do you think teams, or do you think he's going to go earlier than the?
I'm not sure if Jeremiah makes it there.
Yeah,
but if he's there, I think it's a good reason. But
yeah, the thing about it is, let me do this for you then, because there's a wide receiver that I it's just a guy that I like. Just a guy that I like. And Denzel Boston from Washington is a wide receiver. Now, okay, you and I have kind of talked about the 5'9", the 5'11", 190 route runner and all that.
Versus the 6'4" guy.
This guy's 6'4", 210.
Big boy.
He is different. He is a different looking guy. But the outstanding hands, he's from the University of Washington, by the way. And outstanding hands, he's very strong in every sense of the word. He'll go get it. His impressive body control, balance, great job of tracking the ball. He doesn't take his eyes off it. He appears to always win contested catches. Big-time player in the red zone when it comes to reception. He can get his head, his eyes around quickly. He's got short area quickness for a guy that's 6'4", 210 pounds. I would not call him, though, a twitchy player. And maybe that's because he's 6'4" and he's 210. But he will struggle with some defenders that get his hands on him. He'll show up as a blocker. His effort, his technique to get the job done. His play style would be great if he could be paired with a quicker, faster receiver, I think would be. But his body control, his balance are a real plus. I just want to mention him because I know we've talked about the Miami offensive tackle. If I'm looking for an offensive player, it's probably one of those offensive tackles. Yeah. And then it would be Love, and then it would be a guy like Boston or one of those guys if it came down to it.
I like Boston, man. Can run around a little bit, red zone target, whoops the one-on-one guys. Hands are – I think he got an incredible hand.
He does.
And you can see him track the football too, Brian. You can see Denzel Boston tracking the football. And for somebody 6'4", like I said, he's not going to turn as well. He's not going to do those things as well, but I think he picks up speed going downfield really, really well, Brian. And he's another one of those, jump ball guys, Brian. I like him. I got a second round grade.
I'm on the second round grade as well, but there's probably for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, if you're a fan of another team, and say your team has a twitchy, quick kind of a receiver, and you're picking later in the draft, Denzel Boston is your guy. If you're looking for a bigger receiver that goes and attacks the ball, everything that Voch and I were just talking about, like you say, you're at the back end of the draft and you're kind of, man, we have smaller, twitchy guys. This guy would be a great guy for you to have. I mean, he might not be for the Dallas Cowboys, but I know that if I was looking at a fan of another team that had those smaller type of guys, Denzel Boston would be good for me.
Man, Brian, let's do one more, man. This is our question of the day right here.
All right.
From our guy, Matt Owen.
Matt Owen. Good follow.
We've watched some more players, obviously, right?
Yeah.
And this goes back into that, do you hold what you got or do you trade back stuff?
Yeah.
Right? Matt Owen is basically, talking to those fans that are thinking along that line of picking up another second and a third round. Right. Brian, would you rather have 2 picks in the top 25 or 4 picks in the top 100? You have 2 picks in the top 25.
4 picks in the top 100 carries me through the third round, right?
Mm-hmm. Or 2 picks in the top 25. The top 20 if Green Bay do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
I don't think I trade back. I think I want 2 of the best dudes I could possibly get.
Yeah. I'm kind of thinking, okay, this is where I'm at because I know you probably haven't looked at a bunch of safeties.
No, sir.
This is where I'm kind of, and maybe I'm a little low on Ramsey, the safety from USC, and Halsey, the safety from LSU. I've got them both in the third round. I have Rodriguez in the third round. I have Hill, the linebacker from Texas, in the third round. We've talked about, remember Banks from Florida. You brought him up yesterday. I've got him in the third round, probably better player than that. I would think that I might take a crack. I think enough of the guys I mentioned if I thought more of Ramsey, Halsey, Rodriguez, Hill, Banks, and those guys, I'd probably have them all in the second round. But if you could tell me I could get one of those extra guys, it might be worth it for me to get a safety out of that group that I think could play. I think Ramsey and Halsey can both play. Yeah. And Halsey, I think he's more of a strong, Ramsey more of a kind of a free. They play a lot of cover 2 there at USC. I think I would look into that. I think there's going to be several offensive tackles if that's something you want to go into that with Dunker and Tyrann and Miller. I watched Miller last night from Clemson. He's a right tackle, kind of all in that third round group.
Blake ain't good. Blake wasn't good last year when I watched him.
Yeah. You're just not a fan of his at all. I think the athletic ability is good, but I do have him down
like a little power.
Lacks a little power there. So if it meant that I could grab a linebacker and maybe a safety, I would consider backing the thing up. If those guys weren't high enough on my board, then maybe I just sit there and make the 2 picks.
It's nonsensical to me, Brian, but I'm going to trust the Joneses and Will McClay and their NFL department.
You're going to take Delane and Height, aren't you?
Delane and Hyatt?
Yeah.
Who was Hyatt?
Height.
Romello Height.
Height. Sorry, Height.
Romello Height. I'll take him, and I'll be happy too.
Yeah.
I'll be happy.
Okay, how about your South Carolina?
I'll take him.
It's Cece?
Brandon Cece. I'll take him right now.
Cece, I have him in the first round too.
I take him right now, Brian. First round, press corner, sticky coverage. And he really got the coverage of like a late first round dude.
Yeah.
But he's out there covering just off ability.
Yeah.
I still think you're raw. We're going to talk about him next week. But I'll take CC right now, Brian, and I would start him at one of my corners. I just want 2 of the best dudes I could possibly get. And I would trust Jerry Jones, Will McClay, and their department to find some player that I didn't have big hopes for, that I just didn't think about, and hopefully get good work out of that dude. Because they've done it 2 years in a row now.
Bailey or Hood? Bailey and Hood. Tennessee Hood. Texas Tech Bailey for your 2 picks.
I would love to see if I can get a better player than Hood.
Okay.
But I like Hood. I got a 2 on Hood.
Okay.
And I love Bailey.
So Terrell, who we talked about from Clemson.
I got Hood higher than Terrell.
Okay.
I could use them both.
Okay.
I think it'll be better dudes at 20.
Does Downs take you off any Downs, Ohio State safety take you off any defensive positions, edges, outside linebackers, corners?
I'll take Downs and draft a pass rush. I'll take Downs and draft a corner. I'll take Downs and hope that teams suck and don't draft Jermad.
McCoy.
McCoy.
Tennessee.
I'm taking McCoy if he falls.
Boy, you really help your team if you do that.
Man, if you can double them dudes up, Brian. So,
would you consider? Okay, well, let me ask you this real quick.
Yeah.
Would you consider taking 2 corners?
I'll take 2 corners, Brian. I'll take 2 pass rushes. I'm goofy like that.
Yeah.
I'm goofy like that.
I like what you're thinking about.
If I take Delane at 12 and McCoy is dropping because of injury, he's my best player at 20. I'm taking them both.
Yeah.
If I get Bain at 12 and Cassius is my best player at 20, or Romello Height is my best player at 20, I'll take them both.
Yeah.
Because you need them both. You need 2 corners. You need 2 pass rushes. I'll take them both.
You're not wrong.
I'll take them both, man. Hey, man, we appreciate y'all tapping in with us. Love y'all to pieces. We up here trusting the Joneses. Goodness, man. Hey, we appreciate y'all on this Ask Us edition of the Doin Alright Draft Show, man. Appreciate y'all. We'll be back tomorrow to break down some players. Get a little homework for y'all, man. Hold on. Get a little homework for y'all. Let me see. Crown, Globe, we got a little group chat here. Tomorrow we got Caden Proctor, offensive tackle from Alabama. Deontay Lawson, linebacker from Alabama. Brandon Cece. Oh, there he is right there. No. That's next week. Hold on. Where we at, Brian? Okay, I'm sorry. Here we go. You ready?
I'm ready.
Bam. Jordan Tyson,
Arizona State.
the wide receiver from Arizona. Caleb Banks, the defensive tackle from Florida. Caden McDonald, the defensive tackle from Ohio State. Can't wait to talk about him, Brian. And I added Colton Hood.
Yeah, Colton Hood.
To that list tomorrow. So that's our 4. Not them first people I mentioned. We talk about them next week. But the 4 I just mentioned to you, we're going to talk about those guys tomorrow. So make sure that y'all come to class ready. It will be on the test, all right? CrownGlobeMedia.com. Brian is working on getting his Twitter page back.
It's. I tell you what, we're making progress. I think
we're making big progress.
Yeah, we're making progress here. I think.
But until then, it's Crown Globe Media on all social media pages, especially Twitter. And I'm Voch Lombardi over there. All right, I'll tap in with y'all. Be sure to watch the stack later on in the day, and we'll catch y'all next time. Crown.